Council, will the clerk please call the roll?
Alder Bernstein?
Here.
Alder Rademacher?
Here.
Alder Wood?
Here.
Alder Moore? Here. Alder Holmquist? Alder DePula?
Here.
I'm here too.
Mayor O'Connor?
Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Oh. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, we do not have any minutes this meeting. We'll get those at a future date. We do have one appearance that I'm aware of, Molly Groupie. Molly, if you'd like to come up and, sure, take a seat at the table.
Marie, it's well under 3 minutes. I know how precious your time is.
Okay, yes.
I'm Molly Groupie. I live at 507 Frostwoods Road, and I'm just here today to encourage Monona residents who haven't yet voted to do so tomorrow and to vote yes on the municipal referendum to support a one-time permanent increase of $3 million to the city's property tax levy. I want to thank City Administrator Steck Schulte, Mayor O'Connor, our City Council, and our department heads for the thorough public input sessions and the information they cultivated in advance of the referendum. And I also want to express gratitude for how respectfully and thoughtfully they have responded to community questions and concerns about the proposed levy increase. Working for the city as an alderperson from 2018 to 2022, I learned firsthand how lucky we as Monona residents are to have the city services we do for a community of our size. I also learned that the pressure from residents to maintain these services is critical and constant, as are the simultaneous demands to lower costs and cut back on city spending. Maintaining a fiscal balance under these conditions can be a truly maddening practice, and I applaud our city's incredible staff for navigating this process year after year. This incredible staff, while chronically underpaid and overworked, is continuously delivering services and offerings that in many cases exceed residents' expectations and demands. These individuals deserve infinite gratitude and, just as importantly, a pay grade equivalent to that of their colleagues in surrounding municipalities. I was happy to vote yes on October 22nd for this reason in particular. For most of us, living in Monona is a privilege and a choice. I want to make it abundantly clear that with this referendum, there is no hidden agenda. There's no secret cabal of people who stand to benefit from it. I implore those who believe otherwise to review the extensive information the city has provided about the referendum's origins and intentions on the city website. Please vote yes to the municipal referendum tomorrow to help ensure that our city and its staff can continue to meet our community's high expectations in the years ahead.
Thank you very much. Is there anyone else who would like to make an appearance?
Check online, Mayor, just real quick, just to make sure. I don't believe so. Nope, no one else.
Okay, then I will declare the, goodbye, Molly, the appearance section closed. Move on to the rest of, we have no public hearing, we have no consent agenda. Under council action items, we have one item under unfinished business. Item 1A, consideration of ordinance 10-24-781, extending a temporary moratorium on the receipt of applications or issuance of permits or approvals for electronic smoking retailers put forth by the city administrator. Is there a motion to approve this?
Motion to approve. Second.
Doug?
Thank you. Good evening, City Council. This is the second read on this request, seeking a 90-day extension to this ordinance in order to allow for further input, further research, and the necessary meetings in order to be able to put forward recommendations. I have the outline included in the memo. Would be happy to answer any questions. And current schedule would have this coming forward back to City Council with recommendations after review from both Plan Commission, Public Safety Committee, the first two meetings in 2025 in January. Thanks.
If there are any questions, Attorney Cole is also here to answer them. Anyone? This is something that was built, what, about 20 years ago? And, or no, I'm sorry. I'm talking about Jake and the, but you can also answer questions about this, so. If there aren't any questions, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you.
Motion passes. Thank you. Moving on to new business. Item 2A, consideration of resolution 24-11-2746, approving an agreement to accept conveyance of the Dane County Veterans Memorial put forth by the Parks and Recreation Director. This is starred for immediate approval, and I think it is starred because they would like to have the conveyance take place before Veterans Day on November 11th. This is something we've been working on for quite a while. So is there a motion to take this out of order?
Motion to take it out of order.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Is there a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, Jake.
Thank you, Mayor. In your packet, you have a conveyance document drafted by Attorney Cole and the original agreement between the Veterans Memorial Group and the city. The Dane County Veterans Memorial, located at Ahuska Park, was constructed in 2005, had a 10-year maintenance agreement that would eventually be turned over to the city. Over the last 8 to 10 years, we've been working with the Veterans Group on some repairs that have been needed to get done to the structure before we would accept that, including the condition of having $2,000 trust aid received. So all those conditions have been met. The Parks Board reviewed the agreement and recommended the conveyance to the city. The Veterans Memorial Group will still continue to work with families that would be interested in having a donor plate on the Veterans Memorial and the donor plate itself. So the city would be responsible for the flags and maintenance of any damage or repairs that were needed to the actual structure itself, and electrical. So I would recommend approval of the conveyance.
Any questions? And Bill is here to answer questions about this also.
Mayor, if I could,
Sure.
I would just add that we did, principally Jake, when I say we, did inspect the facility. I think there were some repairs that we asked, as well as having the $2,000 posted to cover, there's lights, flags, those sort of operational costs, just to make sure that those are covered in the short term by the donor and not by the taxpayers.
And those were taken care of, right?
Yes,
I
ma'am.
know I got the $2,000 check, so I know
Yes.
we got that, but the repairs are all taken care of.
Yes.
Any questions?
I have
Hearing-
one.
I'm sorry, Rick, go ahead.
Okay. I'm just wondering what you foresee for costs going forward, Jake.
Alder Bernstein, just replacement of flags on an annual basis. There's lights that illuminate the flags. Occasionally, those bulbs need to be replaced, or electrical repairs at times. The granite structure is pretty sound and solid, and the concrete work around the facility has been recoated, and so I would anticipate those should be good for 20 to 30 years with minimal. There'll be some annual cleaning, power washing that we'll solicit volunteer help with, just to keep the memorial looking good. But it's a very sound structure, and of all the, unfortunately, Ahuska Park sees a lot of vandalism and graffiti in other areas, but that Veterans Memorial has not had any of that at that location.
That's good to know.
Wow. That's very good to know. Thank you.
Any other questions? If there aren't any, would the clerk please call the roll?
Alder Bernstein?
Aye.
Alder Rademacher?
Aye.
Alder Woods?
Aye.
Alder Moore?
Aye.
Alder Holmquist?
Aye.
Alder Capula?
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, item 2B, consideration of Resolution 24-11-2747, authorization of new construction proposed within redevelopment area number 7 for Monona Pines at 5105 Monona Drive, put forth by the planning director. This is also started for immediate action. Doug, would you like to explain why that's the case?
Yes, it's really a matter of timing. So as I'll go into, sort of, this has already been to the Plan Commission, so it's really just to give the certainty to the developer. It's been to CDA, so this is kind of the last stop for this. So respectfully, I would request one read, but certainly if the council would like to, that can be accommodated.
Okay. Is there a motion to take this out of order?
I move to take it out of order.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Is there a motion to approve?
Move approval.
Can I vote no on the motion to take it out of order?
Okay. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion to approve. We already have one.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. Doug?
Thank you. So this evening, I'm seeking authorization of new construction within the city's redevelopment area number 7. The full map is included within the materials that were shared with City Council, but it's really sort of everything from Lofty Avenue heading south along Monona Drive, just south of St. Teresa Terrace. This property is the currently vacant site that's at the corner of St. Teresa, Monona Drive, and then Gordon to the west, Gordon Avenue to the west as well. The reason for this request this evening is that the district was created under the state statutes, which requires that no new construction be authorized without authorization of both the CDA as well as the City Council. And so the fact that this development proposal is within these boundaries means that it needs to come to both for authorization as well. And so the project in question is 5105 Monona Drive, and this is a 48-unit mixed-use apartment as well as resident or retail component on the ground floor. This was considered by the Planning Commission in 2022, came through City Council for rezoning. It was previously retail business and was rezoned to a more appropriate classification for this, and that was reviewed and approved by City Council in 2023. The applicant has also been coming through the city's CDA with a TIF request for support for the project as well. This did come through Planning Commission and was approved at the October 14th meeting with conditions of approval, and came through the city's CDA at the 10/22 October 22nd meeting, where it was unanimously recommended for approval. So the request here does comply with the project plan for the redevelopment area, which envisioned a mixed-use project, and really seeking approval this evening that the construction be authorized within this district. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Teresa?
I have a question, and I know you explained this, but for some reason maybe I need to hear it in different words, but it feels to me like what we're doing tonight is really just a formality. Like all the approval has already happened, but because this particular new construction exists within a very specific geographic location, which has been zoned in a certain way, there is written into the code that there must be this extra layer of approval. Am I understanding that correctly?
One thing that I would point out is that typically, it's sort of a sequencing item here, but this would typically come before the Plan Commission approvals, so it would probably feel a little bit less like that. A couple of the other factors here, I think some of the reasons for this, and certainly Tony Cole can jump in, but I think for the state statutes is that it's really checking for compliance with the project plan and making sure that any proposal coming through is in compliance with the vision of both council as well as the CDA. And with this, of course, it's come through for rezoning, so the council has seen that. It's also got the TIF request, so CDA has seen it from that side of things as well. So I think that's why it can feel a little more cumbersome here in this way. But I think, let's say it were a different proposal that didn't meet some of those things, it may be the first time council is seeing it, for example.
I see.
So.
That's a really good way to put it. Thank you. Cumbersome is a good word. Yeah, thank you.
It's really, just for what it's worth, it's not really intended to circumvent or trump Plan Commission at all. The reason for it is when the city creates a redevelopment authority, by law that grants the CDA authority to acquire by eminent domain. And of course, if they acquire by eminent, they have to pay fair market value for what they take. So the purpose of the statute is when you create a redevelopment authority, you're sort of saying, we're freezing this area because we may redevelop that. You don't want to have somebody build something on it if the CDA is going to condemn it by eminent domain, and then the taxpayers are paying for you know what I mean? So that's why you sort of say, no more construction in a redevelopment authority unless the council and the CDA see it's being fine. And here, there's no problem with it. It's as Doug said, it's a vacant lot.
Yeah.
There's nothing there.
Yeah.
Doug?
Yeah, I just wanted to follow up kind of on Teresa's question. Because don't we have redevelopment districts that pretty much align with all of our TIF districts? So I guess I don't recall us ever sort of pulling out this piece separately from the other approvals. You know what I mean? So, yeah. It's, I mean, it's really just a kind of technicality question, I guess.
Technicality, yeah.
Yeah, I would say that sort of from my perspective, this is one that, again, there's so much overlap with these things. There's probably one or two that have been approved recently that probably should have come this way as well with other districts. The Bloom, for example, is probably the one that comes to mind. But again, there was a rezoning, there was a TIF component to that as well. So I would say for the most part with these, when they are redevelopment projects receiving TIF, then there is that overlap, certainly. But I believe this is the case for all of the city's current districts, that this would be the best practice.
Bill?
To be frank, it's Doug being ahead of the game. Oftentimes, we will have this approval done at by the same resolution when the council approves the redevelopment agreement, the developer's agreement. Doug, I think to his credit, is just getting ahead of the problem.
Okay.
Getting approval now.
Okay.
Thanks.
Anyone else? Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Doug. Moving on to our final item, 2C, consideration of Resolution 24-11-2748, requesting exemption from the Dane County Library tax put forth by the library director. This is also started for immediate approval. Ryan, I assume it's because it's a time element. We have to have it
That's
done
correct.
by the
That's correct.
end of the budget year or whatever.
Yeah, I have to submit it tomorrow. I think they have to need it by
okay.
Friday, so.
Right.
Move to take this out of order?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Is there a motion to approve?
Move approval?
Second.
Ryan, did you want to?
It's pretty self-explanatory, but just 10 seconds. Every year we need to approve this. This is to exempt Mononans from having to pay the Dane County library tax, and we are able to do this because we meet the standards that Dane County has, where we have a public library, has a certain level of funding. We expend so many funds for collection, meets all the standards, therefore the residents don't have to pay the Dane County library tax, which is usually paid for by those municipalities that do not have their own public library.
Any questions? I think we do this every year about this time, right?
Correct.
Okay, if there are none, all in favor say aye.
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 Motion passes, thank
Thank you.
you. That's all the action items we had tonight. Moving on to reports, committees, commissions, et cetera. Alder Bernstein, did you have anything to report?
No, I do not. Thank you.
Okay. Alder Rademacher?
No, even though I have all the time in the world, I do not.
Oh.
So.
Okay. Alder Wood?
No report.
Alder Moore?
Nothing to report?
Alder Holmquist?
No report.
And Alder DePula?
No report.
Boy, okay.
This is a record.
Yeah. Must not be any meetings last week. City Attorney?
I am not going to wreck the
Anything to
street.
report? Okay. Director Anderson,
Well, I mean, I'd like to say something.
go ahead.
I'll defer to the chief.
But we leave the chief to the end because we know he could be kind of chatty. If you want
I haven't been here for a long time with you guys. So,
to, right ahead.
Damn straight, and it's good to see you.
October in Park and Rec is a busy month. We transition into, shutting down our park shelters, and this year we kind of got a bonus, couple extra weeks with the nice weather on a few of our shelters. Wrapping up the Winqua Park Trail expansion project, and had our first special event, Halloween Spooktacular, which worked out quite nicely, having the paved path, the opportunity for the kids to use the hunting grounds near the park. So that is substantially completed. We have a little bit of fence work to do along the Ball Diamond, and then we'll be bidding out components of the Schaefer Shelter remodel. So that should be online in the spring and be a fully functioning, accessible facility for programs. And so we're very happy as staff the way it's turned out, and at least for all the input that we've gotten from the community, they've also been very happy with that project. We've transitioned quite quickly to the Lake Ridge Bank River Rink setup, and so our team is dedicated and multifaceted and wear a lot of different hats, and so we have all hands on deck mentality when we do set up and get that ready. So we are anticipating opening on November 16th. We need a little bit of colder weather. It's supposed to be, ideally we'll be making ice by the end of this week. So kudos to the team. I think given this year especially, it seems Park and Rec is in the news and online a lot. And I just want to applaud the team that we have, that we've put together over the years, put the programs and services on. We continue to have high expectations for ourselves and bring those services to the community. So October's been busy. November gets quite a bit busier as we kind of switch into the rink season. We have our first night of training tonight, actually. Jessica Walsh, our rec supervisor, is running that. So,
Great.
Hey, Jake, can I ask a question quick?
Sure.
How's our new daycare program working that you've been working on?
So our out-of-school time programming since 2018 has been serving Monona families, and we've been happy to expand that service to over 100 kids this year.
Yeah, I hear very good things from families in Monona about that. So thank you very much for continuing to offer that fantastic program.
I'm hearing a lot of positive comments about the new path also.
Yeah.
A lot of users.
Yeah.
And can you tell us how much that path was again? Because there's been a lot of communication in the community about the
Construction cost is $425,000.
Okay, so not 1.4 million or not 500,000.
That is correct.
Gotcha. Thank you for clearing that up, as it says on the city's website.
And another aspect perhaps is just, could you explain a bit about the requirements of ADA compliance that you've been working on with all of our parks?
Yeah, so this body approved funding in 2022 to do an ADA transition plan, and that's the first standard that the federal law dictates that communities must have. If you don't have that, and you have someone that would file a complaint saying that you have a facility that's not accessible and you don't have a transition plan, you open yourself up to financial damages. And we have multiple cities in Wisconsin that have faced sanctions and heavy fines and mandates to come into compliance. And so that transition plan serves as a living document on what we need to do to bring our facilities into compliance with the ADA law. And so this particular project and the site was picked because we do a majority of our programming there. So whether we have staff or participants or spectators that need to have the same level of access that able-bodied people do. So this area of the park was identified because we can consolidate a lot of our programs, or soccer, flag football, youth baseball, and softball to that site, and provide those same experiences for people regardless of their ability level. So it is a federal law. This was a very big project, a big component. We still have a lot to do. If you look at the transition plan that's available on our website to come completely into compliance. But I defer to Attorney Cole, but we've seen this in communities from Green Bay to Whitewater, where cities have faced large financial settlements and hurdles to not having a transition plan and not working towards compliance.
If I could, Mayor, I would add, this is another, you had Molly Groupie talking about, the staff that the city has. This is the perfect example of what people really don't understand, and Jake is too modest to say it. There are many communities throughout the country and in Wisconsin that don't undertake the transition planning. There's many city councils that don't invest the money, and until the federal government comes and requires it, they don't do anything. Your staff, and frankly the council by authoring, has gotten ahead of that issue. and you're all to be commended for that. But I just wanted to raise that because Jake was the guy driving this, and a lot of credit goes to him for sort of getting ahead of this issue and proactively dealing with it.
Thank you. And for those of us who were on the council at the time it was finished, it's quite a lengthy list of suggestions, so.
Yeah,
247, I think. Yeah.
Actually, if I can just add to that, I would just add something to what Attorney Cole said, which is, besides the fact that it's an incredibly long list, our incredibly talented staff is doing a lot of it in-house. Like, there's a lot of things there that we're not, we're not going out and having to contract for, precisely because our staff is so willing to roll up their sleeves, and they have the talent and the investment in doing it and doing it right without bringing in contractors all the time. So we're saving, aside from everything else, we're able to save money there because of their commitment, which I'm also very appreciative of.
I was thinking it'll be interesting, as time goes on, it will be interesting to see how people use the path. It's without even knowing that it had anything to do with an ADA compliance. We can all go there and envision how we ourselves would use it. It raises all boats. It makes it more accessible for every one of us. It's a really lovely aspect of that land.
Jake, one more question for you real quick. How many, just so the public knows, how many full-timers are you doing all this stuff with in parks? How many
So
full-timers
we
do you
have 2 full-time parks employees.
Two full-time parks employees for all the stuff that you guys do.
This is true, yes. But our department size is 8, including myself, but the majority of them are in the recreation side.
Gotcha. And the recreation side, the people that are in the not a daycare program is covered. by
Correct.
Expenses from
And
the
they're-
program. Yep.
Correct, and our aquatics.
Gotcha.
Okay. Thank you, Jake.
Thank you.
Ryan, do you have anything to? Chief?
Yes.
Come
Come
on.
on, Andrew. Go.
Haven't heard from you for a few weeks, so.
Hello, council, mayor, all. So a couple things. First, many of you know there's an election tomorrow. The police department has been working with our local counterparts, state counterparts, and federal counterparts just to prepare, as we always do for elections, to make sure we do our part in making sure that our elections are safe. Your city clerk, who fortunately has hopefully the night off and preparing for tomorrow, and I have been talking regularly about elections. Our county clerk has been passing along information. I'm the president, as you know, of the Dane County Chiefs of Police Association, so we've invited folks to come in to talk to the association and other chiefs and executives about the elections and about how we can prepare for elections. I, along with 4 other members, participated in a tabletop exercise in which we sort of walked through scenarios about election night and how we would address and handle that. That was in Sun Prairie. It was wonderful and something that I hope to bring here in the future that Dane County Emergency Management helped coordinate. And so we're prepared. So I encourage everyone who hasn't done so already and is registered to vote to come out and vote, or register to vote and vote. And it'll be a safe election. So next is a pitch from a K-9 fundraiser that is happening next week on Sunday. Technically, it's a new week. Salvatore's is hosting an event. We've advertised it on our Facebook page. But come on out, buy some pizza, buy some great chili. The owner has generously donated, will generously donate 100% of the proceeds of those select pies and that chili to the K-9 Fund.
That's this coming Sunday?
This coming Sunday the 10th.
Yep, it's the frozen pizzas.
The
Yep.
frozen pizzas.
Yep.
Okay.
Yes, want to make sure not everything's free, not everything's donated to the K-9 Fund. Don't come, buy things, right? But just know that there's select pizza, the frozen pizza, and the chili, right?
Yep, the chili.
Is the 100% of the proceeds, which is very, very generous, and we cannot, as you know, make this program run without donations like that. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And for others who have donated or have given in-kind donations to the fund, we very much appreciate it. And then lastly, I'll just make mention of an event that I was asked to speak to. The Wisconsin League of Municipalities conference was a couple weeks ago now, and I was asked to speak at a breakout conference titled Talent Wars. And it was very kind of them to reach out to me, and I asked, why did you reach out to me and ask me to be there? And they said, well, we know that Monona, although you were working on being very, very competitively paid, but we know that you're not paid the highest. You know that you're not the largest. We know that you don't have all the toys, the new building, all these fancy things that some of your competitors have. However, you don't seem to have a retention issue at the moment. Why is that? What are you doing that's making this organization the way it is? I said, well, first of all, I don't take credit for that. But I said, I'll come and be happy to talk. So it was me and the chief of Altoona, Wisconsin, which is a suburb of Eau Claire, and she is going to be the president of the State Chiefs of Police Association, right? And she and I have very similar backgrounds, very different, similar experiences where we came from another bigger agency, and here we are, and here's what we've tried to do and help foster a certain culture. We both give credit to the community. We give credit to our colleagues and other department heads. And then I made this bragging point, which I'll do right now. Maybe it'll score me a brownie point or two. I don't need it. Is that I actually sat there and answered a question about my relationship with the elected officials and my relationship with my colleagues and other department heads. I was like, well, we're colleagues. I said, but we're also kind of friends, right? I said, where else do you go? I said, I share this story with other chiefs locally, and we can't really compare stories about dapping or hugging council members, right? Or coming over for hot chocolate, or meeting them out regularly for just to check in and to see how things are going, and getting calls when things are tough, getting words of encouragement when things are tough, getting happy birthdays, etc. Some of my colleagues don't have that. A lot of my colleagues don't have those relationships. And so that's a small sliver of the pie that makes Monona great, and is why I brag about this place all the time. And it's why we have former alderpersons who, she and I didn't always get to agree and think the same about various topics, former Alder Groupie, but here she is, in support. Prior to being on, you probably didn't see this on TV, there was a hug involved and a greeting, right, of a former Alder. And it's because of the culture and environment that we have here at Monona that makes this place so very special. And how awesome of that is for them to, the league, to recognize little old Monona from all the municipalities. And I'm telling you, there were 70, 80 people in this room. They included elected officials, they included city administrators, and I had a line after the breakout conference trying to get out of there with all the Q&As that people had about what's going on here, the good things that are going on here. So it took them about 30 minutes to leave the room after the event was over.
Wow.
Just in sharing some of the experiences, filling in a little bit more of the blanks in some of the stories and things that I've shared in a 1 hour breakout session. Right? I said this could be probably a whole conference, but they didn't know me well enough, Mayor, to only give me an hour. It went well. It went really, really well. And so that's what I'll end with. Just, on the cusp of this thing, we have to be very careful as to, how we don't advertise, we inform. It's something that's very important. But I also wanted to make sure that the community, as I've been talking personally to individuals, phone calls I've taken, to really talk about how special Monona is, and why I feel it's important to keep us special, right?
Well, thank you.
That's it, Chief.
And thank you for your leadership. I know your
Yeah.
officers really respect you, and obviously Officer Hoffman is here.
I may or may not have ordered him to be here. No, it's okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Leah, did you have anything to share with us?
Thank you, Mayor. City Clerk Hauser asked me to share the following information with you. As of 5 p.m. last Friday, the city of Monona had 33,400 absentee ballots returned to the clerk's office, which is 54.79% of registered voters. So almost 55% of registered voters have already voted. Of those, 2,138 of those ballots were done in person at the clerk's office over the last 2 weeks. Looking ahead to spring of 2025, the spring election, candidate paperwork for the spring election will be available starting November 15th. So this includes mayor and alderpersons. And the 3 alder offices that are up this year are currently filled by Alders Wood, Bernstein, and Moore. Circulation of those papers can start on December 1st, and the deadline to file them with the city clerk is January 7th at 5 p.m.
Thank you. City Administrator?
Just very quickly, Mayor, obviously, polls are open, I believe it's 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. tomorrow, so keep in mind, it should be, hopefully with the higher turnout, hopefully lines will be quick and easy and everything will be smooth as silk. I know our staff has spent a considerable amount of time getting ready for the in-person ballots and are ready to go. So special thanks to all of the clerk staff, to Chris, our maintenance guys, our public works crew. There's a lot of folks working to not only get the in-person absentees ready to go, but then also getting ready for the 2 polling places to be up and live tomorrow. So special thanks to all of their work that they've done and all of the work that they will be doing here in the next 24 hours and a little bit beyond to keep things going smoothly. So with that, just wanted to say thank you to all of the staff and elected officials who have been assisting with public information regarding answering questions regarding the referendum. I feel it's been definitely a team effort on that. I think we've been very thorough. We've been very transparent with the information, and I think that's mattered. I think we've had a lot of positive comments from what we've been doing. I know other communities are keeping an eye on how we're doing and how well we do. Tomorrow, we've had a couple of colleagues actually ask about our website and how we've set up information on it already. In addition to our experiences working with Miller Communications on different things. So there are a lot of folks, not only from inside the community, hopefully saw the benefit of doing it, but I think other communities as well are keeping an eye on our process and how we do. But I really do appreciate all of the support and time, certainly from Mark and Leah, especially in answering questions, financial questions and staffing questions to get through everything. So, and then also certainly for alders for engaging out in the public certainly, especially when misinformation has been put forward. We appreciate the and anything we can do to assist and to get that correct information out there. So
much misinformation.
So we certainly encourage everyone, if you have not voted already, it sounds like most folks have, but if you haven't, certainly please make your way down to the polls tomorrow. So that's all, man.
Okay.
If I could just add, Teresa, and just to turn the thanks back to you, Neil, for being so available for questions. I know a lot of citizens have met with you directly, and while I don't tend to engage much on social media, I know that I've had a few emails that I've received questions, and I draft my answer, and then I like to run it past you to make sure that I've got all my facts straight, and that's always really very helpful how responsive you've been. Thank you.
My pleasure.
In terms of the referendum, just on Wednesday, I asked Neil to set up a meeting with myself, him, Mark, and Leah Wednesday morning, whatever the outcome, just to discuss next steps. If it passes, we will definitely be having the first committee of the whole on Thursday, we think, right? If it doesn't, we may have to push that back a little bit because we'll have to.
This Thursday?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yes, and Neil sent out a calendar hold about that
Yep.
a while ago, and then there's another one for next Tuesday,
Right.
I think, and then a possible third one, depending on how the referendum goes. So I expect we'll get out something on Wednesday.
Right in the morning.
After we meet as to what the, if we definitely will be meeting on Thursday or not, in which case Leah will be getting the draft of my operating budget proposal to you on Wednesday, we hope. Right, so. If there's anything else? Ryan?
Anticlimactic, but 2 quick things. One is, we have the new chairs and the new loft and new children's furniture. If you ever want to pop your head in, the chairs are getting a lot of use, the loft is getting a lot of use. If you do look for the loft in the children's area, please look down as you walk. I swear I almost run into like 5 kids a day because they're very, very small. The second thing is Loud in the Library, Out of This World is the theme this year. It'll be January 25th, the last Saturday of the month. So we hope everyone can attend and enjoy. That's it.
Thank you. We do have some appointments, 3 more appointments as election inspectors. Elizabeth Hawker, Luke Dorsweiler, and Nathan Harper, all effective through December 31st, effective immediately through December 31st, 2025. Is there a motion to approve these appointments?
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. And is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 We are adjourned. Thank you.